What if I told you there's a country richer than many European nations, yet most of its people have never seen a single cent of that wealth? Today, we're talking about Equatorial Guinea, one of the most confusing, silent and unequal countries in the world. It's a place where statistics tell one story, but reality tells a completely different one. So, where exactly is Equatorial Guinea? If you pull up a map of Central Africa, you'll find it nestled right on the coast. It's a small country, but its geography is unique. It's split into two main parts, a mainland region bordered by Cameroon and Gabon, and several islands out in the Atlantic Ocean. The most important of these islands is Bioko, which is actually where the nation's capital Malabo is located. So, the capital isn't even on the mainland. Another fascinating thing about Equatorial Guinea is its history. It was once a Spanish colony, which might not sound surprising until you realize it's the only country in all of Africa where Spanish is an official language. For decades after gaining independence, it was a poor, isolated, and largely forgotten nation. It was a place that rarely made headlines, quietly existing far from the world's attention. But then, in the mid-1990s, everything changed. Something was discovered off its coast that would alter its destiny forever. In the mid-1990s, American oil companies discovered massive reserves of oil and natural gas just offshore. This wasn't a small find. It was a gigantic, world-class discovery. Almost overnight, Equatorial Guinea went from being one of the poorest countries on the continent to an oil giant. The economy didn't just grow, it exploded. Foreign oil companies rushed in, building platforms and pipelines. The country's GDP per capita skyrocketed, becoming one of the highest in Africa, on par with some developed nations. On paper, Equatorial Guinea became fabulously wealthy. Imagine a country with a tiny population suddenly sitting on a mountain of cash. The numbers were staggering. It looked like a modern-day fairy tale, a story of a forgotten nation finding a winning lottery ticket. The government was suddenly flush with billions of dollars in oil revenue. But this brings us to the most important question of all. Where did all that money go? If the country was so rich, why wasn't life improving for its people? The answer lies not in economics, but in power. To understand where the money went, you have to understand who controls the country. Since 1979, Equatorial Guinea has been ruled by one-man president Teodoro Obiang Nguema. That's over 4 decades in power, making him one of the longest-serving rulers in the world. Now, the country does hold elections, but there's no real opposition. The media is state-controlled, and any form of criticism is extremely dangerous. It's a system designed to maintain the status quo and keep power exactly where it is. And with that absolute power came absolute control over the nation's newfound oil wealth. The money didn't flow into public services or infrastructure for the average citizen. Instead, it was concentrated in the hands of a very small elite, primarily connected to the president's family and his inner circle. We're talking about a level of luxury that's hard to comprehend. Reports and investigations have revealed fleets of luxury cars, sprawling mansions in Paris and Malibu, and private jets. All of this exists in a country where many hospitals lack basic supplies like gloves and clean water, and where schools are often without books or electricity. The contrast is jarring and deeply tragic. So, what is life actually like for the ordinary people of Equatorial Guinea? It's a world away from the gleaming statistics. While the GDP per capita might look impressive, the vast majority of the population lives in conditions that don't reflect that wealth at all. Many struggle with a failing healthcare system. Access to quality medical care is a luxury few can afford. Life expectancy is shockingly low for a country with such high income. Education is another major challenge. While schools exist, the quality is often poor, and opportunities for higher education are limited, trapping many in a cycle of poverty. Finding a job is also incredibly difficult. Unemployment is widespread, especially for young people who see no path forward. Outside of the capital city and a few other urban centers, basic infrastructure is weak. Paved roads, reliable electricity, and clean drinking water are not guaranteed. It's a classic example of a resource curse, where the discovery of natural wealth paradoxically leads to worse outcomes for the majority. Equatorial Guinea might look rich in numbers, but for most of its citizens it feels incredibly poor in daily life. This raises a big question. Why don't we hear more about this? Why isn't there more international pressure? There are a few reasons for the world's silence. First, Equatorial Guinea is a small country with a small population. It doesn't command the same global attention as larger nations. Second, the government maintains a tight grip on information, making it very difficult for journalists and human rights organizations to operate and report on what is happening. But perhaps the biggest reason is oil. The country is a significant oil producer, and powerful nations and multinational corporations have vested interests in keeping the oil flowing smoothly. Criticizing the regime too loudly could jeopardize those interests. So, as long as the oil continues to be exported, the world has, for the most part, looked away. The country remains a quiet blind spot in international politics, a place where immense wealth and immense suffering coexist in the shadows. But it's important to remember that Equatorial Guinea is not just a story of dictatorship and inequality. There is so much more to this country. It is a place of incredible natural beauty, It has stunning, untouched rainforests teeming with biodiversity, including rare primates. Its islands are fringed with pristine, empty beaches that look like something from a postcard. It's also a country with rich, diverse cultures and languages, a tapestry of traditions that has survived despite everything. It is a nation full of untapped potential, a beautiful place trapped by the dynamics of power. The story of Equatorial Guinea is a powerful and sobering reminder that wealth alone does not create prosperity. A high GDP means nothing if it's not shared. Without freedom, without transparency, and without accountability, a country can be sitting on a gold mine and its people can still live in poverty. It shows us that the true measure of a nation is success isn't just its bank account, but the well-being and freedom of its citizens. If you're interested in more stories about hidden countries and the untold realities that shape our world, make sure to check out our other videos and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.